We've seen that with some of our clients on the DB side as well. So why shouldn't a DC member have access to these assets?
But there is some hesitation about investing in private markets. We see skepticism on LinkedIn, and we see skepticism even in the man on the street when we consult with the actual scheme member. And as you said at the beginning, we're doing all of this for the benefit of the scheme member. There's concern that the government is trying to kind of force the asset management industry, the asset owner industry into making these investments. And there has been long held concern about the price that these assets costs, both in terms of asset manager fees and being able to get out and price correctly at the right time. How would you address those concerns?
I do think that private markets investments are a good idea for DC members. I believe that members should benefit from as wide a range of investment opportunities as possible. Private markets are a big part of this, and sophisticated institutional investors, DB investors, etc., have been able to access these types of assets for some time and actually have benefited from it. And we've seen that with some of our clients on the DB side as well. So why shouldn't a DC member have access to these assets? A DC member's long-term time horizon also should lend itself very well to private markets. Buying and holding to benefit from things like long-term income, but also growth of that asset really should align to the individual's objectives and needs. So there are many reasons why we should, but you're right, there are some concerns within the market, and it's really important that we link to those. Those concerns aren't new, though. Those concerns and those challenges are the same that have been around for some time. The valuation of assets on a regular basis, the cost of investing in those through asset manager fees, and liquidity. Those are the three things, but those three things have been there all through, and it's just how do you apply them and how do you make them work for DC members in particular. And which is where things like professional fund managers and analysts come into play. And that leads very nicely onto costs, I guess, which is, where the cost is born. Cost is naturally higher within private markets. There's more involved in identifying them, transacting on them, and managing those on an ongoing basis. And if you do that well, you actually receive good returns. So a good manager should be able to do these things efficiently and add value, resulting in a strong returns net of fees. It does mean more governance, I would say. So it means more assessment and oversight from things like boards like trustees, etc., to ensure that they're picking managers and monitoring them on an ongoing basis. So whilst there are things like challenges and concerns, there are also opportunities if you implement them in the right way, and that's really, really important when you're considering things like private market.